Hello the cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on everydays. Van Dijk slams Man Utd's caution in draw, 10 praises Red Devils after 0-0 draw. Virgil van Dijk was not happy that Liverpool had so little opportunity to take advantage of Manchester United's cautious game plan. Virgil van Dijk, a defender for Liverpool, criticized Manchester United's defensive strategy and asserted that there was only one team trying to win, the 0-0 draw at Anfield on Sunday. Van Dijk was not impressed with Manchester United's cautious approach, which gave Liverpool little opportunity to exploit. After Arsenal defeated Brighton, they moved up to the top of the Premier League, while Liverpool lost out because they were unable to penetrate United's well-defended defense. Erik ten Hag reveals he was warned off impossible Manchester United job, but he could not resist the challenge. Van Dijk criticized United's poor performance, saying that Liverpool had 34 shots, just 8 of which were on goal. "If you see how we played the game, we had most of the ball and created some opportunities," he stated. "There was just one squad vying for the victory. Naturally, we want to win every game, which is why it irritates us. We occasionally shot too easily and had the opportunity to pass on the overlap. Sometimes the right choice was not made." Despite the Reds' excellent run, Van Dijk, who saw his header saved by Andre Onana in the first half, acknowledged he could see why United was happy to contain Liverpool following such a challenging season. Van Dijk added that Liverpool must learn from their inability to defeat United, saying, "We carry on of course, but it is frustrating because we were superior in every way. At the end, we are disappointed with a point, and they are buzzing with a point. It is evident that they are not at their best. You are cautious of our threat when you come here. We ought to have prevailed today. Certain conditions require us to learn, and I have no doubt that we will. We were in a rush." Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool, believed that his team had exhibited even greater dominance than when they destroyed United 7-0 the previous season. However, the German acknowledged that by rushing their assaults at crucial times, Liverpool had let themselves down. "While there were many positive things I observed, the outcome is the one I dislike. We ought to have won. In an instant, we were rushing," he remarked. "Collectively, we performed an excellent job of counterpressing and kept them at bay. Even the 7-0 was not as dominant a performance against Manchester United as I can recall. They definitely feel a little better than us now that the score is 0-0. However, we accept the lesson and go forward." Klopp was unsurprised by United's reluctance to launch a mass onslaught, in contrast to Van Dijk. "The game was just what I had anticipated. The other team would find it impossible to escape their own half if we play like this, and United's defense was excellent and well motivated," he remarked. "We tried everything, and the shot counts we produced are absurd. However, given the quantity of rounds, a few more ought to be on target. We took responsibility for that today and moved on." When asked if he was disappointed that United had not capitalized on their recent difficulties, Klopp replied, "What everyone says only helps United. What makes that worth listening to? I don't recall a game where they showed up with a white flag, but they were revved up. It is not the case." Ten Hag praises Man United players after draw. Despite being dominated by the home team, Erik ten Hag claimed Manchester United could learn a lot from their draw with Liverpool. United had an awful season. Going into the game, they had lost 12 of their 24 games and had a dismal recent record versus their fierce rivals, who had defeated them 7-0 the previous year. Ten Hag complimented his beleaguered club, who suffered a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth last week and was eliminated from the Champions League in the middle of the week. He told the BBC, "I think the performance was very good from our side. The players were excellent, they stayed together and participated in the fight, and the game plan worked wonderfully. The only thing I could say is that if you get 1, 2, or 3 passes in, we may harm them more when we have possession. But that is all there is to it. We could have won this game if we had taken advantage of one of the major opportunities. Liverpool is a really good team with lots of movement and a very good attacking squad. You have to defend in a very disciplined manner, and the squad deserves a lot of credit for how well they performed because of their attitude, passion, and determination. The Dutchman said that he had desired to exact revenge for Anfield's 7-0 thrashing the previous season. He remarked, "It was a big loss, of course you want to exact revenge. We can succeed this season because we have a strong group and team." Jurgen Klopp admits horrendous Liverpool fear as Ryan Gravenberch suffers injury blow. On Sunday afternoon, Liverpool laboured to a goalless draw against Manchester United at Anfield, losing another midfield player to injury in the second half. After Ryan Gravenberch suffered a hamstring injury in Liverpool's goalless draw with Manchester United, manager Jurgen Klopp acknowledged that his team was suffering under their horrendous schedule. In his hour on the field on Sunday afternoon, Dutch midfielder Gravenberch was perhaps the greatest player for the Reds. His aggressive running from midfield threatened to cause the visitors issues, but the hosts were let down by a lack of composure in front of goal. The former Ajax player was a summer target for United, but before he pulled up and had to be replaced by fellow countryman Cody Gakpo, he showed his former manager Erik ten Hag what he was missing in a terrific performance. After the game, Klopp talked about Gravenberch's injury and remarked, "We will see. They informed me right away following the game that it had become worse during, so it was not a bam. He felt a little but did not appear right away. Though we had hoped it would pass, it didn't. There was a very fierce run with the ball that resulted in a collision at the 18-yard line. Hopefully it's nothing major, but we have 3 more games in the next 10 days, and I'm not sure if he'll play in all of them or just one of them. We must perform a scan, so we shall see." Gravenberch's injury coincides with Liverpool's loss of Alexis Mac Allister, who was hurt during the team's victory against Sheffield United earlier this month. Thiago Alcantara hasn't kicked a ball yet this year, and Stefan Bajcetic has only made sporadic appearances in the Carabao Cup and Europa League. Gravenberch will most likely miss Wednesday's Carabao Cup quarter-final at Anfield against West Ham. The Reds will then play a vital Premier League match the following weekend against Arsenal, who went up to the top of the standings on Sunday. This is a difficult time. We play West Ham on Wednesday, they're playing incredibly well right now. After that, we play Arsenal and Burnley. It's appalling, Klopp remarked following the game. We need to make sure we score enough points during this time, but there's still a lot of football left to play. We must finish this with as many participants as we can. Danny Murphy says player had his worst game for Liverpool yesterday. According to Danny Murphy, Dominic Szoboszlai may have played his worst game for Liverpool during their dismal Sunday stalemate with Manchester United. Many of us had high hopes going into the game that the Reds would destroy Erik ten Hag's team, but those hopes turned out to be unfounded. Liverpool rarely put Andre Onana to the test in the final third due to their lack of skill. Dominic Szoboszlai was among those who found it extremely difficult to have a significant influence on the game. Dominic Szoboszlai had what Danny Murphy claims to be his worst game for Liverpool. When Szoboszlai joined Liverpool in the summer, he has performed admirably. The Hungarian's form has, meanwhile, arguably declined over the past several weeks. Mohamed Salah and Szoboszlai both made careless mistakes in the early half of the match against Manchester United, according to Jamie Carragher. Furthermore, Danny Murphy said in an interview with Vibe with 5 that he is unsure if the 23-year-old has performed worse for the Reds since joining during the summer transfer window. "I don't think we play with such poor imagination at home. We missed a lot of excellent opportunities. We found ourselves in advantageous positions. However, that last ball, that last piece of assurance, that last bit of fairy dust we usually have at Anfield, puts us across the finish line. After all, we have won every game, haven't we? Thus, it is somewhat disheartening. It's just one of those things that they have to get over in the long run," he stated. "I believe we overlooked Alexis Mac Allister's cunning today when she was in the midst of the park." He continued, saying, I felt Szoboszlai probably had his worst game in a Liverpool shirt, because he's been terrific. Midfielder knows that he can do better. The fact that none of his players displayed the necessary talent against a Manchester United team that hasn't shown much this season will irritate Jurgen Klopp. Part of the blame for that has to go to Szoboszlai. His initial contact was frequently inaccurate when he found himself in pivotal positions on the field. And Liverpool paid a price for it as they attempted to quickly climb back to the top of the Premier League standings. Murphy's assertion, though, perhaps says more about Szoboszlai's excellence than it does about his Sunday performance. As it happened, he wasn't all that horrible. However, he will be dissatisfied with his performance. And he'll be pretty sure he can perform far better. Hello the Cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days.